Hello everyone, welcome back. It's been a while. It is the off season and it's time to go through the car a little bit. Let's take you around. First off, what do you think? Looks way better, right? Thanks, Viking. So just going through the car and fixing things, going through, figuring out what we can maybe upgrade to go faster. Sorry, I'm not even aiming this in the right direction. And then just doing a few updates for the season. So this year rain lights are required, so I've got this little rain light. I've got the whole rear end out of the car. I got the fuel cells sitting off to the side. And putting a fresh set of clutch discs in. I don't really need to, but I have some. And so I figured it would be a good time. I wanted to replace the throwout bearing too. Just good off-season stuff, I suppose. Been doing some wiring. I put my wipers back on. Well, not my wipers, someone else's wipers. I had to order all that stuff because I threw it all away. But we got wipers now. Mostly because I was too cheap to buy a new windshield. I think a new windshield would have worked good to be able to run Rain-X and get by without wipers, but this windshield's all pitted and nasty. But it was still cheaper to run wipers, so I'll probably do both. I'll still do Rain-X, I'm sure, but what else is new? I took the valve covers off, went through, made sure that the valve train all looked good, the springs are good. All that stuff was new last year, so it all looks good. What else? I put a new brake pressure sensor switch in. I do have new exhaust, which I haven't even, short of just fitting up, is still sitting here. And but I'm excited for that because it's going to fit way better than the garbage I had on the car. So I'll maybe do a separate video of that. But then I also got a different differential. So instead of running the 342s, we'll be running 390s now. So unfortunately it got damaged in shipping on the way here, but it's not probably too big of a deal. So hopefully that'll help my acceleration and just improve my corner exit in certain corners. It might hurt others, but I think it's worth a try. There's the new clutch discs. Old ones are fine, but we'll toss them in anyway. And then just keep the old ones as spares to have in the trailer for the track. We got a new throwout bearing thanks to Quartermaster. The old one wasn't too bad at all really, but I'm in here, so I'm going to do it and replace the seals on my tri-light. So just probably a good practice, at least while it's all apart. Trans I think is fine. I still need to weld off. This is, if you watch my Road America deal, this is the part that broke, and so I'm going to just tack weld right in here and on the other side, just to keep the pin from falling out and having the same problem again. Otherwise, I'm going to try and manage my thoughts and come up with something that's reasonably decent for you guys to watch. Stay tuned. Oh, I came up with something interesting. We got a new tow rig. It's a 22 F350 dually diesel. It's a Lariat. It's way fancier than I need. But it kind of made sense. I was going to just get an XLT. It was only a couple grand more to get a Lariat. And the way things are going, this one isn't, I ordered one before Thanksgiving, and this isn't even it. This just happened to show up earlier, and the guy backed out on this one. So I said I'll take this one, and then maybe I'll still buy my other one too when that one shows up. So we'll see. Things are taking a long time to get, but here. The new screen is pretty sweet. So it's the Sync 4 system, and more important than that, this has the 10-speed transmission. And I had my 21 Ram before this, and that had this 68 RFE or whatever it's called. And that thing is a pile of junk, which I knew before I bought it, and I didn't think it bothered me. I was never going to own, I don't want to own a diesel like this that's not under warranty, because I can't afford to fix it if something major breaks. So I figured I'll just upgrade every couple of years. Well, it turned out to be less than that, but times are strange right now, so it actually made a lot of sense to do it. So anyway, the 10-speed in this thing is awesome. I haven't even towed with it yet, but I don't need to tow with it to know that it's awesome. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the more power, and most importantly for me, the space. I really liked the Ram. There's things about the Ram that I like more than this. It's definitely quieter inside in the Ram. I like the steering feel better. It's a lighter effort, and it seems like it drives nicer. This one's a little smoother unloaded, but I don't drive this thing unloaded. This has 50 miles. It's been sitting here for a week or two, but it's really just for towing. So anyway, this is good news, because without this being here, I didn't know what I was going to do for getting Dakota. So nice to have, and I'm excited to see how it does with the trailer. I'm the kind of guy who likes to get projects done quickly, but I should be replacing this pilot bearing. So I'm going to pull it out now, even though I don't have one, and I don't know if I can even get one, to prevent myself from just moving on and forgetting about it. Got myself this custom made little jobber. Well, we got some of the needles out. Almost. Come on, little guy. Here we go. Ta-da! Okay. Hi. We found a pilot bearing, so I've installed that. And now it's just putting the clutch back on. I replaced the discs like I showed you. I had those spares, so put those on, and then we'll keep the others as spares just in case. And now it's you're gonna probably see some kind of time lapse, because this just takes time to try and go around evenly and clamp this baby down. Alright, well. Sweet. Up next is the upper part of the bell housing. Alright, next up, slave cylinder. I'm going to replace the dust seal on this, as well as the other seal, the actual seal. And I might need a different tool. Yes, I do. That seal was probably 100% fine, but I'd rather do it now while I'm in here. Alright, I'm going to dump just some brake fluid in to clean any remaining stuff out. That should start running out of the... We've got the open lines down below, so that's just running out now. And spilling all over my floor. Guess I gotta break in the new floor. But you can see, I'm not even barely catching it. So let that drain out, and then we'll. I'm gonna probably lube up the new seal. Okay, I got the Jeremy spec torque on that, so that's perfect. Now we're going to hook up the hydraulics and we're going to bleed them and test them before we move on. We learned this before, and my buddy Ferris just did this. Put the whole car back together to find out you had a leak. Have to take it all back apart, so let's just do that first. I've bled the clutch, everything's good there. Just wanted to plug this little product right here. If you don't have one of these and you consistently bleed brakes and clutches, I highly recommend it. They're great because you can do stuff by yourself. You don't have to have somebody there pumping things for you. And it helps to speed up the process and make it a lot easier. So you don't have to get this particular Mighty Vac one, but really any of them are pretty good. So I'd recommend it. Next, I decided now's a good time to replace my air filter. Not as much because it's bad, but because I'll get an appropriate sized one for a filter wear, which is a pre-filter to prevent water and rocks and stuff from getting in there. So I have those coming. I also ordered a new belt to have. I couldn't remember if I had a spare in the trailer or not, so now if anything I'll have two. And now we're about ready to move back on, and we'll put the trans in next. All right, we're ready to put the trans in. Alright, all that's left is the subframe. Have any of you guys used these Excel plug wires? They're ceramic. They're sweet, I think. They're supposed to put up with heat better. So I'm excited because we're going to be putting on some new headers. We'll start this probably in the next episode. I've got some new Flowtech headers and X-pipe, and I'm excited because I'm going to build a different exhaust using this, and this is so much better than I had some cheap eBay garbage headers all last year. That's what was on the car, so I'm excited to get to that. That's going to be coming up in the next episode, but I'm hoping and I think it's going to give me more clearance and I'll have less spark plug issues, but wire issues, that is. But I'm excited to try these out. They're the Excel Extreme 9000 ceramics, and I think they're going to work pretty good. I still use, last year I was using these things. I had a number of, I forget who makes these, Firepower or something? Taylor, that's right. But I had a number of those melt, which then I just had some spares, other old ones laying around, so I used those and got through the season with basically just keeping an eye on them and replacing ones that were getting suspect between each race. But I'd really love to have this solution in place to where I don't have to even really worry about it anymore. So you'll hear an update on that. Speaking of updates, I finished my wing deal, so spoiler deal. Last year, just a day or two before I left for the first race at COTA, I put together some brackets that were horrendous looking, and but they got the job done, so finally I made something a little bit better here. So the goal next though is to make it look a little bit better yet, and I'll paint it black and try and make it match the rest of the car, because the car is actually starting to look pretty good. It looks really good on camera all the time. It is a pretty hacked up car. I mean, it's just the way it was when I got it, and frankly it's a race car, so mostly I don't care, but those brackets have bothered me. I was embarrassed by them, so got those fixed. We've already talked about the wipers. Yeah, I guess we'll tackle a few more things next time. We also have some airbags and a pump kit to put on the new truck. I might document that, we'll see. And I did get some new pieces for the welder, so I was pretty happy. Maybe I'll show a picture of one of the welds I just recently did. I'm pretty proud of it. It actually turned out pretty good. But I got this Eastwood grinder and tungsten grinder, and that is nice. It makes it way easier, and it's a lot more dummy proof than what I used to use, which was just the old Harbor Freight bench grinder. This was a dedicated wheel for sharpening tungsten, but I don't know, I felt like that was maybe a little too coarse because it would leave pretty aggressive marks on the tungsten. So anyway, and then I got some Furic cups and stuff, which this didn't really do anything for us on this particular deal, but we are going to be trying to weld some stainless tomorrow in the next video. So hopefully those big cups, those big stainless Furic cups, these big old boys with the gas lens in them, hopefully that helps me have an actual chance of being able to weld some stainless. I've got almost no experience with stainless, but and then another upgrade. This is the old AHP welder. It's a really basic welder, but it's for the money. I think it's pretty good. But for Christmas, my mommy got me a new foot pedal because that's one of the real drawbacks of that welder is it comes with the worst foot pedal in the history of foot pedals. So now I'm getting used to actually a normal one, and I think it's going to work pretty good. But although I think the new versions of this welder have that foot pedal because too many people complained that that other one was junk. So anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. We got a lot done. I didn't film a lot of it, but I've been here pretty much every night this week doing something, although I didn't film much of it. So I guess, I don't remember if I even showed you that everything's back in the car, but got our shiny little light for rain. So progress. We raced in less than a month, so we're getting close. Thanks for watching. Smash buttons. Love you. Bye.